Hi everyone, good morning. I hope you are able to hear me. Can anyone please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the last session, we started talking about how we can install SQL Server that we came across it, and we also talked about how we can use the where class. So where class is going to be very much important for us. Where class is very important, and where class is used to specifically used for data restriction. If you want to restrict the data, we are going to use where class. Okay. And today I'm going to take you through, there are functions are available. I'm going to talk about the functions, and functions will be used to, like if you want to operate the data, like if I have a numbers, or if you have a text data, or if you have a text data numbers. So if you want to handle the numbers text, then we are going to use the functions. A minute. So screen is not at share, right?
No, sir.
Okay, let me share my screen. In the last session, we talked about where class, how we can restrict the data with the help of conditions that we came across it. And today I'm going to talk about these functions. Functions will be used to handle a few things. Like if you have a numbers, you can handle the numbers. Or if you have a text data, you can handle the text data. Or if you have a date and time, you're going to handle the date and time. So depends on your requirement. Depends on your requirement. You are going to handle your data. So these functions are going to be very much important when you go for data factory. When you go for data factory, they are very much important. And when you go for Databricks, very important. So if you know these functions, handling the data with these tools is very simple and easy. So have a more concentration on this. This is very important. So functions are used to handle the numbers, text, and date and time. And there are few categories of the functions in SQL Server. These functions I'm just considering based on the SQL standard. But we have a similar kind of approach even in a data factory. At the time of data factory, we're going to see how we're going to have it. So I have a numeric functions, string functions, date and time functions, and aggregate functions, and Windows functions. All these functions are very important. Whatever I'm going to take you through, just concentrate on those functions. That is more and more enough. The very first category I'm going to take is numeric functions, or we can say number functions. And let me talk about the first function is apps. So apps is going to get the absolute value of a given number. And when you take any function, you're going to have a function name. You have to remember function name and what you are passing inside the function and what you are getting from the function is important. So when you pass, you may pass the numbers, or you may pass the text, you may pass the date and time. At the same time, the function also can return number, the function also can return text, and function also can return date. So whatever it is returning, that you need to consider it. We have to consider and you have to remember it. When the moment you touch any function, you have to keep in mind what it is taking and what it is giving back to you. That's very important for us. And the first function, as I said, apps returns the absolute value of a number. If you want to get the absolute value of a number, then you can use this apps function. And it is very simple and it's not much. You say you use function, but still I wanted to take you through this apps function, what it is going to do. abs of 10. It's going to give the output of this is 10. Abs minus 10 also is going to give a 10. So always it is going to give a positive number. Abs of 0 is going to give a 0. We don't need to write a from here. We don't require to write from because none of the column is coming from the table. Where 10 is not coming from any table. It's a static value or constant values we can say. So whenever you are doing some testing and if you wanted to use it as it is, and in that particular case, we don't need to specify the table name. As simple as that, if column is coming from the table, then only you have to write a from statement to write a table name. Otherwise, we don't need to specify the from. And let me show you how we are going to handle this. Write a SQL statement to deduct 2000 from everyone's salary. So I wanted to deduct a 2000 from everyone's salary. Let me right click on it to connect my system. I mean, a database is not connected. My database is source database. Select from employee. I have an employee number, employee name, job, and salary. If I execute up to here, you're going to have like a few columns with all the data. I don't care about it. So here what I'm trying to explain is I wanted to do some calculation. I wanted to do some calculation. That calculation is here I have every employee is getting some salaries and I wanted to deduct 2000 from everyone's salary. That means 2000. 800 minus 2000, 1600 minus 2000, 1250 minus 2000, something like that. We are going to do A minus B operation. Okay, so this calculation is for each and every employee. For every employee, it is going to do it. The similar kind of calculation we're also going to do in a ADF and ADB also. If you understand here, then understanding in that particular case is very, very simple. You don't feel it is difficult. So because of that reason, I'm just spending little time with the SQL. And now what I wanted to do here is I wanted to say, comma, salary minus 2000. Salary minus 2000. If I execute up to here, it is going to get only like it is going to get something like this. But if you observe here, one thing I wanted to highlight here, you have created this A minus B operation, but I don't have a column name. I wanted to give a column name for this. The column name is salary minus salary underscore 2000 or something like that. I wanted to give a column name. So if you want to give a column name, then we have to give a alias name for this. How we are going to give the alias name is, you have written the expression in this place. You have written expression here. For this expression, I wanted to say salary minus or salary underscore 2000. Salary underscore 2000, I wanted to give it. So for any calculation, if you want to give a column name or if you want to give a alias name, we used to call it as a alias name. Okay, so for some people, they used to have a alias names. That means alternative names. We can give here the alternative name as to provide the alternative name for any expression we are going to use as column name. So column name is what? The salary minus or salary underscore 2000 I wanted to give it. So just observe how I'm going to give in this place as salary minus or salary underscore 2000 I'm taking. Okay, so I'm just taking here. You can see it. I've taken salary underscore 2000 as alias name. I'm just giving a alias name here. So since it is a alias name, we are going to give it as keyword. If you're not interested to give it, you can also give in place of this, you can also give a space also. Space also will be treated as a alias name. Now let's execute this one and you can get the column name. Let's execute it and see the column name here. We are having it. Now I wanted to apply absolute operation on top of this. Let's give the column name as salary minus 2000 as the name of the column. And in the next one, I'm asking, write a SQL statement to apply apps operation on top of this. What happens if I apply apps operation? I wanted to apply apps operation on top of this column. Salary minus 2000. If there is a positive number, it gives a positive number. If there is a negative number, it is going to give a positive number only. So apps of column name or expression, when you pass it, it is going to give a absolute value of a given number. So I'm just taking a copy of this expression, I mean query, and I'm just taking here, and I'm going to apply absolute value of this absolute function on top of this, comma, apps of, I wanted to apply on top of this column, I'm saying. So if I wanted to apply on top of this, calculation, I have to apply this apps operation, means you have to bring into this place. But I don't have a column name. For this column, I have an expression. That expression is salary minus 2000. So salary minus 2000, we are going to pass inside the apps function, as we are not having it. If you want to use the same column itself as for this requirement, then we can do it in a different approach also. But I don't want to go at that level for this particular point of time. You can directly apply apps function on top of this expression. So salary minus 2000 or salary minus, I mean expression, both are same. Both are same, no changes in that particular place. So I'm just taking this expression to here, close this, and I'm just going to say apps. Let's execute it. Now you can see here. If you clearly observe, when I'm having a salary minus 2000, I'm having a negative numbers here. But when it comes to here, everything is positive. Just observe here. Few numbers are negative numbers are there here, and here all are positive numbers. So whenever your business requirement demands to get the absolute operations, then you can use the apps function. And next is round function. The very important function that we are going to come across is the round function. The persons who are going to deal with the data, round is very operation. Round is very common operation for everyone. Especially in a Databricks, I came across many times. Round is used to round the number. Round is used to round the number to specify number of decimal places. So here, if you see the syntax, I'm having a number. We are going to specify the number here, and we are going to give a how many number of places you wanted to round the number. So in this particular case, if you pass the number of decimal places as number of decimal or number of positions, if you pass as a positive number, then it is going to round the decimal numbers. This is what it is. Number of decimal places, if you pass as a positive number, then it rounds the decimal numbers. And if you pass negative number, the main number will be rounded. Let's say, for example, if I have a 10.5, the 10 is the main number and 0.5 is the decimal number. So you may feel it is easy. you feel it is little difficult at the time of working, because if you have a less number of records, it's easy to handle it. If you have a millions of records, this also is going to make a problem. The decimal places also is going to make a problem. Okay, so because of that reason, I just wanted to take you through this. So round function is used to round the number, and if you pass the negative number, it rounds the main number, and if you pass positive number, it is going to round the main number. Write a SQL statement to apply a round operation with the 3.5. So first apply the division operation with the 3.5. As I'm not having a, let me take this copy. I don't need these two columns. Let's execute up to here. So my data is not having a decimal places. My data, this table is having only salary. This salary is not having a decimal places if we observe here. Of course, it is having 0.00 is there. But I needed some decimal places to explain this round operation. Then only can understand, otherwise you cannot understand it. So to make you understand, what I'm trying to do is, I'm going to do salary divided by 3.5. So that means 800 divided by 3.5, 1600 divided by 3.5. I wanted to do it. So the denominator is same. So I can do a calculation here, comma, salary divided by 3.5 as salary divided by 3.5. I'm just giving some name here, alias name for that. Now, if you observe in this particular case, I'm having a decimal places. You can see here. I have a decimal places. Since I'm having a decimal places, it is easy for me to explain about the round function. It's very easy for me to explain about the round function. Let's see. Apply round operation with two decimal places and with -2 decimal places for this above query. Let's take this entire query and paste it here. So I wanted to write one more column here with round function. SQL is not a case sensitive. You can write any case. Round salary divided by 3.5, comma, and two decimal places as I'm just giving round 1. I'm just giving a alias name as a round 1. So what I'm trying to do here is, just observe. I'm applying round operation on top of this result. On top of this column means you're writing same expression here. Whatever the expression I have written for this column, the same expression is there inside the round function. So what happens if I apply round operation here is, you just observe the first one, the first value I'm taking round of 228.5714 285, something like this, comma, two decimal places. So when I take it two decimal places, what happens is only two decimal places we are going to have in the output. I don't care about all these decimal places. After 57, I have a 1 4. So I don't get, I used to get like 228.57 only. 228.57 only you're going to get. Now let me take this example, you can understand. It's a very much common operation, most of you are aware of it. Like if I say 7.5, if I wanted to round it, it becomes as 8. If it is a single decimal place. Now here I'm taking, now if you observe here, 287 is there. 814.285. Just think about 5 becomes 0 and 1 will be added to 8. So 814.29 you're going to get. For this particular record, you're going to get 814.9, you're going to get it. So just observe, by executing this statement, you can understand. And hit on execute. And see here 814.29 is getting here. The first value you can say 228.57 as expected. So it is rounding to 2 decimal places. Whatever the number of decimal places I'm having here, but it is going to give it 2 decimal places. And what happens if I give a negative number? Just observe. Take this copy of expression. And this is round 2. So when I execute this in round 2 with -2, so what happens is the main number is going to be rounded. This number 228, 557, 357, 814, something like this. If you are going to round the number up to two number of positions, if I give a negative number, the main numbers are going to be rounded. So 2 positions means last 2 digits. Just consider last 2 digits. If this last 2 digits are greater than or equal to 50, then you can round it. You can round to the up. So that means here what value you are going to get is you are going to get 200 because it is less than or equal to 50. And this is greater than or equal to 50. If you round, it is going to get a 600 here. And here also you are going to get 400 is where, as we're having 57 is greater than or equal to 50. And 814 is going to get 800 is because the 14 is less than 50 only. Okay, so let me execute this statement. Now 814, you just observe here. I have a 814. The 814 is having 800, and then 357, we're having a 400, and 557. Sorry, it is 457. That is fine. So here 4 and here it is 5. So 500 you are going to get, and 228 it is less than or equal to 50, the last 2 digits, so it is getting 200. So especially this kind of operations you are going to do when you deal with the numbers, when you have a more number of decimal places, if you wanted to round up to 2 decimal places, then we are going to face this kind of situations. So depends on the requirement, you are going to use it. Now, the next functions we are going to say is string functions. The string functions are used to handle the text data. If you have a text data, and if you wanted to handle it, then we need to use text functions or string functions. Both are same. Text functions or string functions, both are same. String functions are used to deal with the text data. And text data will be enclosed in a single quote. So whenever you are going to write a text will be enclosed in a single quote. In SQL Server, we are going to keep it in a single quote. In Databricks, we have a single quote as well as we have a double quote also. These two will be Databricks. or Python. And again, single quote in Azure Data Factory. So different places you may have different, but you can feel that it is not much difficult. So strings will be enclosed in a single quote, and the very first function I'm going to take you through is ASCII. ASCII is taking a text character and it is used to get the ASCII value of a specific character. If I wanted to get a ASCII value of A, then you can get it. If I wanted to get a ASCII value of lowercase a, you can get it. So that means uppercase a and lowercase a are not same. In English point of view, a equal to a is fine. But if they're considering case sensitivity, then both are not same. And I wanted to say here, give me a minute, my charging is less. Wait a minute, I'll be back. Okay, yeah. So I'm just trying to talk about text functions. So ASCII value function, I'll just give it directly so you don't feel it is little difficult. So it is very simple to use it. I have given an exercise here. I have given exercise. Write a SQL statement. Write a SQL statement. And I'm just going to show you A. If I execute up to here, if I execute up to here, it is going to have A here. I wanted to get the ASCII value for this column. I wanted to get ASCII value for this column. So to get this ASCII value for this column, we can use the ASCII function in order to get it. But that's not the best, that's not much more important function. Just for understanding, I'm just going to take you through that. Otherwise, it's not required. Then I lost my pen. Yeah. Now what I'm trying to say here is, I have A here. For A, I'm getting this one. And if I wanted to get the ASCII value, then this value should pass into the ASCII function. So it is going to give a number for this. I'm just trying to pass a lowercase a and I'm passing a uppercase a to get it. So let's say how exactly it is going to work. Let's execute all this statement together and see. I'm having for A, I'm having 65. And for lowercase a, I'm having 97 here. For lowercase a, I'm having 97. So that means it's not same. Basically, both are not same. But in language point of view, both are same. And quite opposite to this function, I have a function called char function. The char is going to convert your character of, or it is going to get a character of any ASCII numbers. If I pass 65, it is going to give a, and if I pass 97, it is going to give a lowercase a. The basic functions, you can just go through that. You can see here. And try even this one also. This is more or less same. Now, let's concentrate on this one. The very first function I'm going to talk about the main function. Okay, so these two functions are basic functions I wanted to say. But when it comes to here, this place, this is very important. In ADF, we are going to use this function very, very, very frequently. Very, very frequently. If you wanted to create any dynamic expressions, in that case, I came across many times this particular function. So the name itself is saying that it is used to concatenate. So concat is used to concatenate multiple text values. Or I can say it is used to combine text values. Combine means joining. So this is taking a text 1, text 2, text 3, and so on. Till text n, you can pass it. As many number of texts you want to pass, you can pass inside the concatenate function. Concat function. The same naming standard even in the data factory also we have it. So I have a use case here. Let me take you through that use case so that you can understand what we are going to do with the concat function. Just execute up to here. If I wanted to move the database from one database to another database, I'm there in the source database now. You can see what user is connected and what is the name of the server details here. And database name here also you can see. Server name. And if you want to move from one database to other database, to move from one database to another database, not a data movement, connectivity movement. Then, I mean, if all the databases are there within the same database, if you want to move like that, then we are going to use database name. So use database name is going to help us to move database from one database to other database. Let's execute it. Now you can see here I'm having a counter so retail DW. So in the last session, we have seen how we can restore the sample databases. And I stored all the sample databases in the Google Drive. I saved the link in the WhatsApp group. Take that link, download them, and restore as per our last session. I wanted to combine my first name and last name. If I execute up to here, you are getting a result here, right? I'm getting the result. First name and last name I'm getting. If I apply concatenate operation on top of this, what I'm trying to get is, if I have a John and Ang, my output should be, this is the first name and this is last name. Two columns here, two separate columns, but I wanted to get as a full name as a single value, John Ang. Instead of having a separate columns, I wanted to have these two columns in a same column itself. So here I wanted to create a full name. So in order to create a full name, we are going to use concat function. Concat first name, comma, last name. As many columns as you want, you can pass it. Alias name I'm giving as full name. I'm giving alias name as full name. You're passing the first name inside this function and you're passing the last name and you're trying to get the full name. If I execute up to here, what happens here is, just observe, execute it. And I don't have any space in this place. I don't have any space. If I wanted to get the space, if you want to get the space, then you have to add one more text here. This is first name is text1 and this is text2. I wanted to add a text3 also here. The text3 is space. I wanted to take it. A separator. I wanted to take the separator to separate your first name and last name. So that is going to give a more readability. So definitely we are going to give a separator, especially in the Databricks. We are going to have a file name, something like employee underscore 02042025 dot CSV. Something like that. If you want to create it, you have to take the separator. You have to take the separator. Here the separator is underscore. This is a separator between the file name and the I'm just prefixing I'm just suffixing the date here. The suffix of date I'm just giving to identify this file is generated on so and so date. And this is the extension of the file. So this is not a separator. Of course, extension is going to be file format or file format separator. But here to differentiate your file name and date, I'm just going to use the underscore. So this kind of situations we are going to handle with the ADF and ADB also. So when you are going to handle this, then you have to know about this concat function. So in order to provide it here, I'm just going to give in a single quote, you have to give a space and then comma. So space is also is a separator. If I execute now, you are going to get the correct result. So that is about concatenate function. Now here my requirement is just try to understand how you are going to handle the nulls. If you have a nulls, how you can handle that, I'm just trying to explain in this place. Write a SQL statement to get the full name with first name, middle name, and last name. All three names I wanted to combine it. So as we already know about this concat function, you can pass the first name and middle name to separate both of them. I'm just giving a separator called star and then last name. The last name between the result of these two names and last name, I'm just going to give a separator again star. This entire thing is going to get the full name. So just observe if I execute these statements, what it is going to give. And here I have a like this. Yeah, perfect. Now, what I'm trying to say here is I have a first name John, V, and Yang. So John will go to here. John will go to first name. V will go to middle name. And Yang will go to last name. Okay, so first John, the output of this is John. And then star is going to get V. Again, star is there. And Yang. That is what it is coming perfectly all right. I don't have any problem with that. The problem is with this one. Christy. Christy is coming to the first name. And null will go to the middle name. And Taurus will go to last name. So Christy is going to get, and then we have a separator star. But this middle name is blank. So if middle name is blank, then it is not going to take the null. It is just going to leave it as it is with no space. And later I have a one more star, then you are going to get the star, and then Taurus is going to get something like this. That is what you are seeing here. So to separate this Christy Toros, we don't need two stars. One is enough. In place of this two, we can have only one. In order to provide the solution for this issue, this is the problem. This is not the right one. This is a problem, and this is correct. So to provide the solution for this, we have a case statement. We can use the case statement to handle it, or you can use the Colesi function. We are going to talk about it. These two things I'm going to take you through. But now let me go with, there is a one more function also is there. That is, one more option, that is concat underscore ws. There is a concat underscore ws. It's a straightforward function in order to provide the solution. So this function is available in a SQL server. If you go for data factory, it is not available. Okay, so if it is available, then we can use it. But here, wherever it is available, we can do it. And let's see what options are there to provide the solution with the case statement. So case statement will be used to create a conditional based calculation. Conditional based calculations. That means if I have a, let's say I'm having a gender column. Gender column is having M and F. I wanted to show in the output, this is the input. In the output, I wanted to show the gender. If there is a M, then I wanted to show as a male. If there is a F, then I wanted to show as a female. So there is a condition. If gender is equal to M, then I wanted to show as a male. If gender is not equal to M, then I wanted to show as a female. It's a conditional based calculation. So conditional based calculation in SQL Server, we are going to do with the case statement. We're going to do with the case statement. So let me write with the case statement so that you can understand how you're going to write it. Give a comma here. Case when. So when you write a case statement, you're going to say case and end as column name. I'm going to take full name to. So here within the case, this is the syntax you're going to have it. Inside this, we are going to have a conditions. When middle name is null. When middle name is null, then what is my result? When the middle name is null, that means in this particular case, my middle name is null. If we take a third record, my middle name is null. If it is null, I don't need to consider this to get the full name. This Ruben and Taurus is enough. That means I have to take only if the middle name is null, my full name is first name plus last name. So this plus also can be used to, can be combined, can be used to concatenate. It's a concatenate operator here. Between, if it is there between the two text values, then it is a concatenate operator. If it is there 10 plus 20, then it is an addition operator. If any of them is a text value, then it will be concatenate operator. If both sides we are having a numbers, here also number, here also number, then it is a addition operator. Addition operator. And if it is any of them is a text, then it is a concatenate operator. Now let me say here, I wanted to go with concat of first name, comma, star separator, comma, last name. This is your full name. Case when if middle name is null, when middle name is null, my last name, my full name is first name and last name. If my middle name is not null, That means if we take a first record, we are having some value here. If middle name is not null, then we have to take the else block. Else, I can take this entire statement, take this copy and paste it here. So in the else block, we are going to give it else concat of first name, middle name, and last name. This entire thing is going to be treated as this entire case statement will be treated as a one column. This is one column expression. That is full name. Without case statement, how it is available, and with case statement, how we can handle it. I'm just trying to show here. Let's execute the statements and see the result. If you take a Christie Zoo, without case statement, I have a 2 stars. With the case statement, how many stars are there? Only 1 star. In every 2 text values, we have only 1 star. Here also same. Between your first name and middle name, there is only 1 star. Between your middle name and last name, there is only 1 star. This is fine. But here we have a multiple characters here. Wherever there is a blank is null, I mean, wherever the middle name is null, there is a problem. So that problem you can handle with the help of case statement. It is a conditional based calculation. So by using case statement, how we can provide that I came across it. And I explained also. I explained how this case statement is going to work. And the next function, very, very important function. And one more thing I wanted to say here. Here I wanted to say one more thing. Like if you are going to deal with like if I wanted to get the part of the text, if I wanted to get a part of the text, how you can get it? A part of text. So I have a basket. From here, I wanted to get B. I wanted to get B. So if you want to get B, how you can get it? If you want to get a B, how you can get the B? So B is the part of the character. B is the part of the character. Right? So B is the part of the character. If there is a single character, multiple characters, we don't care about it. But B is a part of the character. And if I take from here, if I take BH is a part of the character. Or if I wanted to take the last character R, that is also is a part of the character. So if a business requirement demands to get the part of the text, then we have a few functions to handle it. In SQL Server, we have a functions. One is left function we are going to use. Another is right function we are going to use to get the characters. And there is a substring function also is available to get the part of the text. All these functions are used to get the part of the text. All these functions are going to be used to get the part of the text. Now, from where you are going to get the part of the text, from which side is required to get it, that is important here. Let's say, for example, I want to get the characters from the left side. I want to get the characters from the left side. Or I wanted to get the characters from the right side. Or I wanted to get the characters in the middle of the text. Then those things will decide which function is suitable. If a business requirement demands to get the character from the left side, The name itself, the requirement itself, we are saying left. When I say left, we are going to use left function. So left function is used to get the number of characters from the left side. That's what I'm just having here. You can see. Left function is used to get the part of the text from the left side with a specified number of characters. That is important. With a specified number of characters, you are going to get. From each and every name, I wanted to get the first 3 characters. So whenever you are going to get the characters from the left side, first characters or left characters, then use the left function. So my data, my employee table is there in the source database. So I'm going to change this database to source database. Use source. So let's execute this. You're going to have a source database. Now in this particular case, just observe up to here. If I execute it, you're going to have employee name. From each and every name, I wanted to get the first 3 characters. If you take this one, the first name, so 3 characters means SMI, all, JON. First 3 characters I wanted to get. To get the first 3 characters, we are going to use left function. So let me write with the left function. Give a comma. Left of ename. So we have to pass the text and then number of characters you have to give a 3. Alias name as first 3 characters. So I'm just giving some column name for this. So this function is expecting a text value. In place of the text, I'm passing the name of the column. So what type of data it is this column is having? This column is having a text data. So in real time, we're always going to pass the name of the column in the function. 99.99% we are going to pass the name of the column inside the function. So not only this, anywhere. So here I'm giving the name of the column in place of the first argument. And then the number of characters. This number of characters is 3. So 3 will go to here. That means from left side, as we're using the left function, from the left side, it is going to get the 3 characters. From the left side, it is going to get the 3 characters. Just observe how exactly it is going to get it. Execute this statement again and see the result. Now you are able to see. Now, if my business requirement demands to get characters from right side, if you wanted to get the characters from the right side, then how you are going to get from the right side? So in order to get from right side, we are going to use the function called right function. Quite opposite of left function is right function. The name of the function is going to change. The syntax is 100% same. Write a SQL statement to get the last 3 characters from every employee name. Last 3 characters. To get the last 3 characters, I'm going to use the right function. Comma. Right of ename, comma 3 as last 3 characters. Last 3 characters, I'm just going to take it. So when I take a last 3 characters, it is going to take a characters from the right side. Let's execute and see the result. Now, if you see here, you're passing this name to the right function and you're giving the number of characters, and from everywhere ITH, LEN, ARD, NES, you can see. Last 3 characters only is going to get it. So you can experience this, how we can get the part of the text. This function is not available in ADF. It's not available in ADF, but this kind of requirement is very, very important. Okay, the kind of requirement is important, but this function is not available. In place of this, we have a other option. We have a other function. So what function it is, we'll see that. And if my business requirement demands to get the characters from middle of the text, or if my business requirement demands to get the characters either from starting or ending, if you wanted to get it, then we are going to use substring function. Just try to understand this substring function, then you can write as statements. The name itself saying that the substring function is used to get the part of the text. Your left function gets the characters from the left side, and your right function is going to get the characters from the right side. But your substring function is going to get the characters from the left side. You can get characters from the left side, or you can get the characters from the right side, or in the middle of the text also. In middle also we can get it. In middle also we can get the characters. So all the possibilities we are having in this function. The same function is available in ADF. The same function is available in ADF and ADB also. So understanding this function is very important. Wherever you are going to deal with the text data, then definitely mostly we are going to have this substring function. So what this substring function is expecting? This is expecting the text from where you wanted to get the part of the text. From where we are going to get the part of the text that we need to specify. From that particular text, what is the starting position? The starting position you have to give it. And the number of characters. How many number of characters you wanted to get it. So it is used to get part of the text from the starting position to specified number of characters. So I wanted to get the first three characters with the same substring function. I wanted to get the first three characters. So if you want to get it, how you are going to write, just observe. Substring of ename, comma, 1, comma 1. If I give 1, comma 1, my requirement is to get the first three characters. But if I give 1, comma 1, what it is going to show you, just observe. Let's execute and see the result. From each and every name, it is giving a first character. But I'm not looking for first characters, I'm looking for first three characters. So we have to give the number of characters is 3. We have to give the number of characters is 3. Let's execute now. And you can see the same to same result here. The same result is available here. The same result, we are having it. Okay, same result is available like your left function. And you can also get the characters from the right side, but it's not as straightforward. You have to write some expression. So I don't want to make you through that much confusion. Instead of that, we have we don't get the characters, last 3 characters, something like that. But if you have that kind of requirement, I recommend to use write function in SQL if they are asking. Okay. And there is one more function. Let me finish this function and oh, time is up. Okay, then I'm stopping here. And if you have any question, you can ask me. We are going to see the rest of the things in the next session. And keep in mind left, right function and substring function. So these functions are very, very important. You have to keep in mind, and concatenate function. So very frequently we are going to use them as part of our data bricks as well as in the data factory also. Okay, then I'm stopping here. We'll see on tomorrow and just try to have a look on the group. But I'm just trying to keep a few entry questions, and those questions you have to practice on this database. So whatever the question I'm giving, that question should be practiced with the practice database. Okay, so based on the snip, you have to handle it. Let's say, for example, okay, so I'll tell you how we can do it on tomorrow, but I hope you people can understand. I'm giving a snip. Whatever the columns are there in the snip, that columns you have to take from that particular table. Okay, then you can write it. So mostly I just gave it where class where class exercises, but I wanted to give it on this functions also. And today I'll give it, and you have to do it. Okay then. I'm stopping here. We'll see on tomorrow. Thank you for joining.